This is something that's happening apparently behind the scenes. We don't have, at least last I checked, we don't have any official acknowledgement of this happening. But I believe it's the information has, oh no, sorry, it was The Verge has sources that say that OpenAI is working on getting into the social media game, working on an early internal prototype of a ChatGPT image product that integrates a social feed into this. Sam Altman has teased in the past on Twitter/X about, some sort of social option, like maybe we should get into social, which of course, if he's saying that on Twitter, and then in light of this, he knew at that time, and he's just kind of, planting the seeds so that people can respond and react. But this really seems to me to be a really great way, Twitter X has Grok, and one of the big benefits of that is that Grok gets to feast upon all of that user-generated real-time data as it's made. It gets that really valuable source of information. Meta is reportedly working on bringing a social feed to its AI products. Not to mention, it has a social feed that it can integrate its AI into, so it works in both ways. And so it seems like maybe OpenAI is saying, hey, there's a lot to gain from that user-generated data, that real-time data, and we don't have to pay others for it. It could just be ours. Why can't it just be ours? That's my take.
So kudos to Kylie Robeson and Alex Heath at The Verge for the reporting here, but I don't know. I wonder whether this is just a way for Sam Altman to poke two fingers into Elon Musk's eyes and say, you got a social network? I can do that too. And same with Zuckerberg and Meta. You got a social network? I can do that too. Social is hard.
Yeah, it is.
People are difficult. People are a problem. And so I'm not so sure if they really can bite this off. I think it's so if they're not serious, kudos for a good slap back at Elon. If they are serious, watch out. This is hard. And we've certainly, one thing we have learned about AI over the last 5 years is it's not good at moderation. It doesn't really understand context. It doesn't really understand, and that's not just LLMs. Obviously, there have been other mechanisms that Facebook has relied on AI to moderate. And Mike Masnick's impossibility theorem is that moderation at scale is an impossibility. And so, color me dubious about this. I think that either it's a stunt, or they're going to, if they try it, they're going to find out quickly how difficult it is. And you're right, Jason, that Grok does have a ready-made supply of conversation, as does Meta. But it's stilted conversation. It's weird conversation. If you're trying to train, look at Tay back in the day, right? Microsoft. If you're trying to train a general machine to be intelligent, I don't know if social media is where you go to get intelligence.
Well, especially a social media platform that works in little bites and chunks as opposed to longer. And I guess, they have that ability. If you are a verified user, you have the ability to write longer posts, and I see those all the time as well. But certainly I would imagine on a platform like X has to work harder to get the overall context of understanding around a particular thread or around 500,000 people commenting on, or replying to a single tweet. There's a lot more complexity there, I would guess.
Yeah, content. Social scientists who try to do content analysis on social media find it extremely difficult because you don't have much context, you don't have length.
Broken.
Just trying to do subject analysis and emotional analysis is very hard. So Altman got his story of the day. And we needed to do it, and it was, I agreed, it's the lead story, I think, for this week. But file it under, we'll see.
Yeah. I'll just say two more quick things. OpenAI did, related to this, I think. OpenAI did open up a section, or is opening up a section for library access to your previous images. And part of this kind of leak, rumor, sources say story from The Verge is about how this would be tied to an image platform of OpenAI. So, is this the germ of that? I don't know. And then the other thing is that this really reminded me of another AI service that I have used in the past. Let me see if I can get there, called Ideogram, which has been around for a couple of years now, but it kind of is an image generation social platform. You can go in here and you can create images, and then you can add, your likes. You can go ahead and like it. I don't know if they have any sort of comment thread, but it has a little bit of that. And I wonder if, even if it's just something like that, we have this gallery for the images that you've created, and other people can hit a heart and say, I like that. That's a social element without going too deep.
I'm glad you went there, because it is interesting that, and I write about this in my next book about the linotype, we kind of move to a post-alphabetic world. Not that we don't get rid of the alphabet, but we also have emoji. We also have memes. We also have video. And creating these graphic elements does require some experience with more complex tools. So if you can tell the machine what you want to say and how you want it to say it graphically, that is a new layer on social, potentially. Yeah. It's a new way people can converse through images. That's interesting.